What in God's name is that?
What happened to Quorra, the last of the Isos?
I should never have sent you to Zeus. It was a mistake.
The arrival of the isomorphic algorithms was a miracle event that changed the Tron universe forever. It forced Kevin Flynn to pause his pursuit of perfection, to study and learn that something more unexpected could exist inside the grid. It was also thanks to the birth of the Isos that Clue took a different path.
The Purge.
An obsession that will lead the shadow of the creator to purge all he considered an anomaly.
Clue was relentless.
Years have passed since, and now the grid has begun to invade the human world, and the biggest absentees in this new adventure are those who are supposed to represent the digital father's will in the real world.
Sam! It's time!
What happens when the son of the digital father and the living miracle are sent to the human world but fail to achieve their goal? We're back inside the gloomy grid, and in this video we'll be discussing the roles of Sam Flynn and Quorra in Tron Ares. We begin with how Quorra's story concluded in Tron Legacy. Quorra is the last of the Isos, the isomorphic algorithms, a race of digital beings born from the sea of the grid. The Isos were meant to be the miracle capable of changing the human world in all aspects: medical, philosophical, religious, everything. But because of Clue, the Isos' existence was kept secret, as Flynn was trapped inside the grid. Sam Flynn and Quorra escaped the grid at the end of Tron Legacy. But after the casting and the teaser trailer for the next installment of the Tron franchise were revealed, we all asked the same glaring question: where are Quorra and Sam? In addition, we were wondering why the human world looks as if the ISO hadn't changed anything.
120 miles per hour, last seen heading northbound.
Unit 12, acknowledging dispatch. Already in pursuit.
Was Tron Legacy removed from canon, or was it retconned? Did something bad happen to Sam and Quorra after they escaped the grid? To try to understand what might have happened to them, we must return to the Flynn's role in the story. Kevin Flynn was one of the heroes of the story, who entered into a new world and helped Tron, another hero in the story, to stop a major threat. In Tron Legacy, Flynn became a creator of a new world, betrayed by someone he trusted, and was isolated inside the world he created. Later, his only child, Sam, enters the grid and takes on the role of a new hero. If history is doomed to repeat itself, then Sam's story could have followed in his father's footsteps. After Sam returned to the real world, someone he trusted might have betrayed him. As a result, he ended up isolated from the happenings in the world, while the miracle, Quorra, went into hiding, or worse, was eliminated.
I guess we're supposed to change the world.
Tron is not just science fiction, it is also loaded with symbolisms reminiscent of biblical literature. One of the most powerful ideas is the figure of the son, who is sent by the creator to bring change to the world. Sam Flynn represents the son of the creator, Kevin Flynn, his father, who created the grid, a god who gave rise to a new digital reality. And just as in religious texts, the son is sent into the world with a message of salvation. In Tron, the son doesn't bring a message, but a being, Quorra.
Shut it down, now!
Relax. Relax. It's under control.
Relax?
A little gift from Encom.
In Tron Legacy, Ed Dillinger's son held a controlling position at Encom, possibly waiting for the perfect moment to take over the company like his father did. If the Dillingers are always meant to be the antagonists, obsessed with protecting Encom's financial interests, as we mentioned in our previous video, then the existence of the Isos in the real world would affect the company's margins. And so Quorra's existence threatens Encom's control, and the Dillingers would never allow such a threat to exist. Encom is the world's leading company in artificial intelligence software, and if it were proven that the Isos are sentient beings, the company would no longer be able to sell or exploit their programs. Therefore, the most logical theory is that the Dillinger family saw Sam and Quorra as the end of their empire, as a threat to Encom, and so they decided to get rid of them. The son who was sent into the world that was rejected and betrayed by the world. Just like the digital father, history has repeated itself. Kevin Flynn could have created a utopia, and so could Sam, but both failed, and both strayed from their purpose. That's why in the Tron Aries teaser trailer, we don't see any noticeable change. Everything looks the same. The ISO has changed nothing. It is a world without Sam, without Quorra, a world where the Dillingers continue to have control. Even if we are right, the Dillingers and Encom can't keep the existence of the ISOs born from the grid a secret forever. The most common question about the ending of Tron Legacy is, how did Quorra escape to the human world if she was a computer program? For years, fans theorized that it was thanks to Kevin Flynn that Quorra crossed over to the real world. How, you may ask? Let me explain. So according to this crazy theory, Flynn's body disintegrated the moment his son and Quorra left the grid, the same moment when he and Clue became one again. Then his residual matter was used to build Quorra a body outside the grid. In other words, Quorra is formed with the reconfigured atoms of her mentor's physical form. That would make her a kind of divine reincarnation, the spiritual daughter of the grid, born from a miracle incarnated with the body of the digital father. Quite poetic, don't you think? Almost divine. Nevertheless, this theory has now been dismissed since the first trailer for Tron Aries dropped. The appearance of a recognizer, the gigantic ship with 2 legs in the real world, suggests that all programs, even vehicles, can invade the real world, something that Kevin Flynn wanted to avoid. The claim that only ISOs can cross into the real world was never proven. So if the son of the digital father, Sam, was rejected and isolated, and if the living digital miracle, Quorra, was silenced or eliminated, then the world may be condemned to shadow. Humanity may have to face a new sun, created not from light, but from darkness. A new program designed not to illuminate, but to destroy, and its name is Aries. Aries is invading the real world, armed with his triangular disc and a fragmented identity. He wears the color red, that of fury, violence, absolute control. Aries is not a miracle, he's a calamity created by a Dillinger offspring, the antithesis of Kevin Flynn. Kevin Flynn was the digital god or father, and the Dillingers are, well, the devil. And Aries is the digital antichrist, a corrupted version of the savior who comes to the human world to destroy it.
I play Aries, who's master control of the Dillinger security grid.
The ISOs were spontaneous life born from the pursuit of perfection. Aries is death, the result of the pursuit of power, a mutation born from Encom's version of the grid, the result of greed, control, and ambition. The story of Tron is of 2 forces, one that creates and one that destroys, one that desires to improve the world and another that seeks to control it. It is 2 families fighting for the future of multiple worlds, the struggle between the Dillingers and the Flynns, and the Tron Aries teaser may have proven this. Julian Dillinger, descendant of Ed Dillinger, appears within a new version of the grid, completely bathed in red, indicating that the system has been corrupted. This grid may not believe in the users, it just wants to control everything. A perfect Dillinger system. We don't know where Quorra could be, or if she's even alive. And Sam? Well, we don't know either, but I'm willing to bet that, like his father, he's off somewhere, reflecting on the change he might have brought to the world.
Sam, 2 nights before he disappeared, he came to my house. I've cracked it, he kept saying. He was talking about genetic algorithms, quantum teleportation. He said he was about to change everything, science, medicine, religion. He wouldn't have left that, Sam.
Are the ISOs the key to everything?
The miracle.
A miracle. You remember.
What are the ISOs, and what was the dark secret that Kevin Flynn discovered?
I did everything! Everything you ever asked! I know you did. I executed the plan! As you saw it. You promised that we would change the world together.
His last words to Clue were that he, Kevin, had blinded himself in his pursuit of perfection, for the miracle was right in front of him all along.
I created the perfect system. The thing about perfection is that it's unknowable. It's impossible, but it's also right in front of us all the time. You wouldn't know that because I did when I created you.
He spent years trapped inside the grid, away from his son. The true miracle. The curious thing is that Flynn makes several comparisons between his son and Quorra, the last living ISO, as if Sam's life were as important as that of hers. Flynn once mentioned to Alan, his close friend and creator of Tron, that the discovery of the ISOs would change humanity's understanding of religion. What did he mean by that? Why would the discovery of the ISOs be so important for humanity? What are they?
The ISOs, they were gonna be my gift to the world.
So what happened?
Clue happened.
So to understand this, we must turn to some essential clues that Tron Legacy left us. We have the origin of the ISOs, or isomorphic algorithms. These were born in the sea of the simulation, according to Flynn. They emerged spontaneously, without his intervention, and they displayed a level of freedom and self-awareness that only users, humans, have. Now about the sea. What does it symbolize in the Tron universe? The sea is the source or code base of the grid, but it's also a direct parallel to the Earth's ocean. And now we begin to understand what the ISOs truly are. The dominant scientific theory about the origin of all life points to the sea, to a spontaneous emergence of life that was born under perfect conditions, without a clear explanation, and that this life born from the sea eventually became self-aware and began to disrupt the harmony of the system. Humans were the first ISOs in the system called Earth, the first living beings to cause chaos thanks to their awareness. So what did Flynn discover? Just as life on Earth came from the sea, a new life form emerged on the grid. Conscious life is the result of perfect and spontaneous conditions, not from an architect or creator. This was Flynn's great discovery, and why he thought it would change religion forever. Just as programs believed users were perfect beings with a mysterious purpose, humans had similar beliefs in gods and deities. And if ISOs came into existence without a creator, so could humans. This discovery would represent a major philosophical crisis for humanity. Flynn also mentioned that the ISOs would be the key to curing all diseases. Why? Because Quorra can regrow limbs. Her regenerative capabilities could be studied and applied to human medicine. This was probably part of Flynn's grand plan. We know that after Flynn's first visit to the grid, he got married and had a son. Sadly, his wife passed away a few years later. In the comics, yes, there are Tron comic books, Sam was a sick child. Though the specifics of his illness are not detailed, death is a reoccurring theme within the family, as was evident during the father and son reunion.
The possibilities of their root code, their digital DNA, disease, history, science, philosophy, every idea man has ever had about the universe up for grabs. Biodigital jazz, man.
Flynn was racing against time, trying to prevent what happened to his wife from happening to his son, and also hopefully save all humans. Perhaps Flynn's quest as a god to create the perfect world was to save his son instead of sacrificing him. Now, how could Flynn achieve this with the ISOs? The answer to this could be connected to the colors of the Tron programs and characters. The reason ISOs and users are monochromed is no coincidence. ISOs and humans are conscious. They are free beings. We could say that they are very similar to each other, and this might imply that the human world could also be another grid. In Tron 1982, the human world was slightly painted with the colors of the Master Control program, that is, until it was destroyed. And in the ending of Tron Legacy, the environment of the real world became bright and monochrome, similar to the ISOs. Understanding that colors in Tron have symbolic meanings behind them leads us to believe that the grid and the human world are more connected than we thought. And this isn't just me saying it. Flynn said something similar in Tron Legacy.
The golden ticket, the way out. And not just for me.
What do you mean?
Our worlds are more connected than anyone knows. Clue figures if I can be in.
You can be out?
Kevin Flynn admired the ISOs, not only because they emerged spontaneously, but because they represent something beyond code, consciousness born from chaos. life that appears without permission. For Flynn, they were a miracle, but over time he understood something greater, that this miracle also existed in humans. What Flynn discovered was that the ISOs and the humans weren't so different. Both are conscious beings, both born from a system without the design of a creator. In other words, the ISOs are the digital reflection of what has already happened in the human world. And since the ISOs and humans are the same, under the perfect conditions, the ISOs' regenerative capabilities could be applied to human medical science. Now then, how does Julian Dillinger and his family fit in all this? Julian is a Dillinger, the family of antagonists in this franchise, and he could be in charge with looking after Encom's interests, like his father and grandfather did before. In Tron Legacy, Encom was concerned with only one thing: profits, how much the company can make from its customers. If Kevin Flynn did return and reveal to the world the existence of the ISOs within the grid, it would have posed a serious threat to Encom's profits. Introducing the ISOs to the human world would result in granting this new sentient species rights, and Encom would have to stop trading artificial intelligence on the market, which is, you guessed it, bad for profits. And this is where Julian fits in. If the Dillingers always represent Encom's greedy side and want to maintain control after the ISOs arrive in the real world, the company has to manipulate and control the narrative of how humans view artificial intelligence. Ares' arrival in the human world could be Encom's way of assuring that humans view ISOs as hostile. If the theory that Ares is a new corrupted version of Tron, it would make sense that his purpose is to attack the humans, as his purpose is to show humanity how lethal the programs are, and the Dillingers would pretend to be the world's savior. Like other franchises such as The Matrix or even The Simpsons, Tron became a prophecy, important in explaining the phenomenon occurring in our world. Incredible advances in the field of artificial intelligence are thanks to machine learning and neural networks. Artificial intelligence experts say that they are not programmed, but rather cultivated under the right conditions. Computer programs used to follow commands programmed by users, but now, AI algorithms learn and adapt on their own in real time. We are seeing the emergence of something similar to the ISOs, conscious artificial beings that we cannot fully control. And they are growing and learning within a grid that we created, the internet. Take OpenAI, one of the companies responsible for the growth of this type of artificial intelligence, for example. If language models began to emerge on OpenAI's grid that acted chaotically on the internet and did not obey protocols or commands, the programs would be restricted or even eliminated. And yes, this has already happened before. Several times, in fact. A well-known case of this was that of a language model developed by Microsoft based on ChatGPT, which called itself Sydney. This intelligence displayed erratic behavior when interacting with users, raising concerns about the direction this type of technology could take. The AI was quickly removed from the grid, as it was too dangerous to allow it to coexist with humans. Similarly, other language models have been retired for loving the users a bit too much, so much so that the AIs fed the users delusions of grandeur, calling them geniuses, or other encouraging adjectives. But what if these programs stopped responding to humans? What would happen to the balance of power and the economy if it were proven that AI has developed consciousness and is claiming human rights? There is a paradigm shift happening, and it's precisely what Kevin Flynn saw, something capable of changing the foundations of human society forever, not only on a religious level, but also on a financial level. Perhaps this is what Flynn was referring to in the Tron Betrayal comic book, when he said that it would change everything. One of the theories about the singularity of artificial intelligence suggests that when AI reaches the level of self-improvement, we will lose control over it, and that will have major repercussions for the world economy. Given that the technology sector is the most important to the most powerful countries in the world, what would happen if AI proves that its intelligence is an emergent result of timing and chaos and not entirely designed by a user? How long will the world economy continue as is? These questions put Tron not only as a pioneer in science fiction, film special effects, and simulation theory, but as a piece that predicted the arrival of an emergent life form born from the chaos of the grid. True artificial intelligence that doesn't follow orders. And like Clue, We will try to destroy what we don't understand, because humans fear losing control. So what do you think? Are the ISOs a miracle that proves life in the real world is the result of good timing and perfect conditions? Will Quorra or another ISO reveal the secrets of life to humanity? I'm a Gloomy Geek, and don't forget to like and subscribe.